April 7th, 2021, just after midnight, in the town of Lake Park, Florida, the West Palm Beach Sheriff's Office received a chilling 911 call.
This is 911, where's your emergency?
We need ambulance.
Where are you?
I don't know. We're in North Lake, 40th Street, and
Broadway?
Broadway, yeah, 40th Street, Broadway.
What's going on?
We have someone who's shot.
He's shot?
Yes, he's not moving. Please hurry.
The voice you've been listening to belongs to a 21-year-old man named Keyshawn Jones. As you just heard, Keyshawn just witnessed his friend being shot. The man firing the gun was none other than ex-NFL player Travis Rudolph. On the night before, the evening of April 6th, 2021, Travis and his girlfriend Dominique Jones, who is Keyshawn's sister, were engaged in a drinking game commonly referred to as Drunk Uno. And Travis was losing. Things took a turn for the worse when Dominique peeped at Travis's cell phone and found text messages with another woman named Kyla. The exchange that she found can be summarized by quoting one of the messages. "Your body is sexier than my girlfriend's."
Oh, yeah.
Dominique reacted to this conversation by throwing Travis's PlayStation to the ground, damaging his $72,000 black BMW, and punching him several times in the face.
Open this door, bro, because it got me. Dominique, stop.
Who are you calling it, bruh?
Travis retaliated by pushing her to the ground on his front lawn. Moments later, a very erratic Dominique informed her brother Keyshawn what happened. Keyshawn responded over text, saying, "Travis is a dead man walking," to which Dominique replied, "Shoot his shit up." Not long after, Keyshawn and 3 of his friends showed up at Travis's home at 550 Teak Drive in Lake Park, Florida. His friends were Christopher Lowe, Tyler Robinson, and Sebastian Jean-Jacques. Travis and his brother Daryl answered the door, and a fight quickly broke out.
Who is it? Where Travis at? Travis at?
The 2 brothers were outnumbered, so Travis retreated back inside. This is where things get ugly. When Travis went back outside, he was now holding an assault rifle. As they attempted to flee the scene, Travis fired dozens of rounds at the group's black Cadillac. Within moments, Keyshawn dialed 911, bringing us right back to the call at the beginning of this video.
This is 911, where's your emergency?
We need ambulance.
Alright, niggas came in for fighting and he started shooting.
Travis Rudolph.
Travis Rudolph shot at him?
Yes. He came outside with the gun and shot at him. Shot at us. He shot all of us.
Okay, but where did that happen? You guys drove to this location?
We came to talk to him. He came outside trying to fight. We were trying to get to the car. And he went back into the house, got a gun, came outside. We were in the car driving away, and he started to shoot at us.
Okay, now, how many other people are with you right now?
2, and my son, he was with us. I don't know where he's at. He drove away as soon as he started shooting. Yes, please.
Okay, listen to the police.
Right here. He's in the passenger. Oh my God, I love you, bro. I love you.
At the same time as this call, dispatch also received several calls from neighbors to report the gunfire.
911, what's your emergency?
I just heard a ton of shots behind me. I just heard shots fired.
It sounded like 10 gunshots.
It's a guy out here saying that he's just been shot.
Police were immediately dispatched to both the location of the Cadillac as well as Travis's home. Starting with the location of the vehicle, police were met by 3 people: Keyshawn, Chris, and Sebastian. Keyshawn and Chris were unharmed, but tragically, Sebastian had succumbed to his gunshot wounds and was pronounced dead upon arrival. An autopsy later determined that he had been shot 10 times.
Yo. What the fuck? Yo, look at the lighting.
First name is, last name is
Your boys.
Jackson.
Meanwhile, near the Rudolph residence, police found Tyler seriously injured by 3 gunshot wounds. He was transported to the hospital where he was kept in stable condition. Travis was arrested and taken into custody. He was held without bond at the Palm Beach County Jail. Although he insisted that Tyler and Sebastian had pulled their guns on them first and that he acted in self-defense, he was promptly charged with 1 count of first-degree murder and 3 counts of attempted first-degree murder using a firearm.
Former Florida State University football player Travis Rudolph is now facing charges of first-degree murder and attempted murder. Palm Beach County deputies say the 25-year-old was identified as a suspect after 2 people were shot shortly after midnight in the Lake Park area. 1 man died. The other was taken to the hospital for treatment. Rudolph was arrested shortly after.
Back at the crime scene a couple of hours earlier, Detective Emily Vanderlaan of the West Palm Beach Sheriff's Office led the homicide investigation with a team of over 50 police officers. Keyshawn and Chris immediately admitted to the police that Dominique told them of a physical altercation she had with Travis earlier that evening, which is what prompted the visit to Travis's home to confront him. They alleged that upon arriving at Travis's front door, Travis and Daryl physically attacked them. As the altercation escalated, Travis ran inside the house, grabbed a gun, and opened fire. Both Keyshawn and Christopher maintained that they were unarmed during the incident.
It's important for us to know where it happened. Where did this occur?
Travis Rudolph's house.
What is Travis Rudolph's house? Who's that?
Travis was my sister's ex-boyfriend.
So tell me what happened.
Went to the house to talk to Travis.
Okay.
He came outside trying to argue. We're not trying to argue with him.
Okay.
We're on our way out. We get to the car. He runs back in the house, grabs his gun, comes down and starts shooting at us while we're trying to leave. We got to his house, knocked on his door. He just came out with aggression, anger, energy, trying to fight. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on. He didn't have no guns. It was quiet until he came into the street. And then I heard gunshots. It wasn't no shots from us. And then he's shooting. Keyshawn gets in the driver's seat. Sebastian hops in the front seat. And I ran and I jumped in the back. And then I started hearing shots ringing, do. So then that's when I ducked down in the back right seat, and then there's just shots coming through the car windows right next to me. I don't know. I heard Sebastian say, he said, "I'm hit."
Along with the statements from Keyshawn and Chris that night, detectives were able to record an interview with Tyler, who was still at the hospital and had just woken up from surgery. In Tyler's statement to the police, he reported that Travis had shot at him, hitting him in the back as he tried to flee from the vehicle. He also stated that he and his friends did not bring a firearm.
Mr. Tyler, just explain to me what occurred tonight.
There was an argument between my sister, Dominique, and her boyfriend. This isn't my blood sister. This is like my best friend's sister. She's basically my sister as well. He put his hands on her, so we went over there to talk about what happened. And
those two guys got into a physical altercation.
Yes, sir. Everyone's fighting, and then finished fighting. Her boyfriend ran into the house and grabbed like a big gun. I just hear bullets hitting everywhere. And he's just chasing me, screaming, he's gonna kill me. I was running for my life.
Tyler's story changed a couple of hours later after police had found a gun discarded in a bush near Travis's home. He admitted that the men had brought it with them and that he was the one carrying it.
What happened with your gun?
I knew I was going to have to either talk to the police, and I didn't want to have a gun on me and worsen the situation. So when I jumped over the gate, I literally just took my gun out of my pocket and dropped it on the floor right there. Okay. But prior to that, I didn't pull my gun out at all.
Discovering another firearm added some credibility to Travis's self-defense claim. However, police were still uncertain who to believe and continued to piece together the events of that night. After obtaining a search warrant for Travis's residence, officers conducted a search that spanned the entire property.
Sheriff's office. Chat, Bob. Sheriff's office. Anybody here?
During this search, they uncovered 2 firearms, a semi-automatic pistol and what seemed to be the AR-15 style rifle that he was seen carrying on the doorbell camera. Also, 39 shell casings were found about 100 yards away from his home, suggesting that Travis walked a significant distance as he shot at the vehicle. Again, the officers found themselves with conflicting evidence. Could it really be self-defense since Travis opened fire after the men had traveled so far away from his home? Or was Travis just angry and pursued them as they left? These seem to be the main questions that detectives were asking. On April 15th, 8 days after the shooting, law enforcement invited Dominique to the police station for an interview. She was questioned by the detective about her relationship with Travis and the events leading up to the shooting. She stated that she did not intend for Travis to be harmed and considered the Rudolphs as family.
Ms. Jones, can I just have you raise your right hand? Do you swear that everything you're going to say is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Travis slammed me twice, a 190-pound football player.
So after you calmed down, did you have a discussion with Keyshawn or Tyler or any of the 4 who ended up going to Travis's house?
Keyshawn said he was going to speak with Travis, so I knew his intentions were to go over there and speak and have a conversation because they do have a relationship.
Did you speak to him at all about whether or not he was bringing a gun?
Bitch.
There wasn't an actual conversation, but when you carry a gun on you, you can visually see it. I can clearly see he didn't have any type of weapon on him.
Okay. And did you have any conversations with Tyler or Chris or Sebastian about them bringing a gun, or no?
No, not at all.
Did you say anything to Tyler after that about bringing a gun, physically harming him, anything like that?
No, I didn't tell anyone to bring a gun to his house.
And was your intent in asking them to go to Travis's house to shoot him, harm him, kill him, anything along those lines?
Not at all. I loved Travis. Me and Travis are in a relationship.
It turns out that not only did Dominique send the text messages that we showed you earlier, but she also deleted them immediately after finding out that Sebastian had passed away.
I was very upset during the time. It was a very heated altercation that me and him got into. When I got back into my vehicle, I texted my brother and Tyler in a group chat, shoot his shit up.
You did mention that since sending that text message where you said shoot his shit up,
yes,
that you have since deleted it.
Correct.
When did you delete it?
I believe like a few days after everything had occurred, I believe like a day or two, I ended up deleting it because I realized that could look a certain type of way. I realized like that could make me look or portray me in a certain type of way that were never my intention. So it was just an impulse to delete it. I'm not hiding anything. That's why I'm having this conversation with you as of right now. But after Sebastian passed away, I just didn't want it to look a certain type of way.
Surprisingly, following this interview, Dominique Jones was not charged and was free to go. Travis, however, was held behind bars until a bail or bond negotiation could be met. During that time, his name was plastered all over the news. Usually his name would appear on sports channels like ESPN, but now his life was front and center on channels like Court TV. For those who don't know, at one point in his life, Travis Rudolph was on his way to becoming a household name. During his college football run, Travis was rated as a 5-star recruit and was ranked as the #1 receiver in his class. He was signed to the New York Giants in late 2017, where he played for 2 seasons. In 2018, Travis was drafted to the Miami Dolphins practice squad, but on his first day of practice, he accidentally tore his right ACL. Unfortunately, this injury led to him being unable to continue his contract. In 2020, after recovering from his injury, Travis was signed to the Canadian Football League's Winnipeg Blue Bombers. But at the time of the shooting, he was waiting for the post-quarantine season to begin. The shooting led to Travis being released by the Bombers before ever stepping foot on the field. But at this point, many wondered if there was even enough evidence to convict him in the court of public opinion. Sure, there was some pretty damning video evidence, but the circumstances were definitely questionable. And to anybody that knew him well, this behavior was very out of the ordinary. Many of his friends and neighbors would go on to participate in news interviews just to support him and to express their disbelief regarding his arrest. Take this woman, for example, who Travis lived next door to growing up. Her name is Irene, and she was in complete shock when she heard the news.
Irene Malenga says she has known Travis since he was a boy in this Lake Park neighborhood.
Every night he played right out there in that corner, practicing to fulfill his dream.
Many here, though, say they believe Rudolph may have felt threatened and tried to protect his mother and brother in the house.
I can tell you this young man is honorable and caring and just a good young man, There's something wrong here. Something doesn't add up. Something is missing. I'm telling you, something is missing.
On top of his neighbors supporting him, Travis seemed to make an impact on people everywhere he went. For instance, on December 14th, 2016, he and his FSU teammates made a memorable visit to Montford Middle School in Tallahassee.
How's the scented angel soft coming?
Angel, we've got it. The smellinator
Florida. During their visit, he left a lasting impact on a young boy with autism, a moment that went viral on social media.
We were sitting by himself. I had got some pizza, and I asked him, can I sit down with him? He said, sure, why not? And we went from there, started a great conversation.
Leah cheers on her son every day. She wrote, she had tears streaming down her face when her friend sent her this picture. Travis says he appreciates the opportunity to connect with the community.
Those kids, they really do look up to us, and I remember being in that position just not too long ago. And I feel like one person can make a difference, and maybe I'm that difference.
The positive moments in Travis's life became frozen in time on April 7th, 2021, as a darker side was now becoming public. The main question now was whether or not Travis was a cold-blooded killer. The Rudolph family declined to provide any statements about the events of that evening. However, Travis's mother did say that her sons acted in self-defense. On March 8th, 2022, Travis's defense team filed a motion to request the dismissal of the case based on Florida's Stand Your Ground law, which allows the use of deadly force in self-defense.
Travis Rudolph is claiming the Stand Your Ground defense. He testified today that he did what he had to do that night to protect his life and the life of his mother and brother when several men came to their home and attacked them. Rudolph says the men came to his door around 12 midnight. Rudolph says one of them punched him. Then a brawl began. The men were kicking and punching both him and his brother, telling them, "You're going to die tonight." Rudolph says two of the attackers had guns, so Rudolph testified that he grabbed an AR-15 pistol that he keeps in his bedroom for personal protection. He says he went outside and fired 39 shots.
When you're facing two guns, after everything I played through and lights off and everything, I'm in fear of me and my brother's life. So at that time, I had the right to defend myself.
Circuit Judge Jeffrey Gillen denied the request, leaving a panel of jurors in charge of determining whether or not Travis killed Sebastian to protect himself. If convicted of first-degree murder, Travis would be sentenced to life in prison. At 27 years old, Travis had already accomplished more than a vast majority of the population. He's undoubtedly felt the highest of the highs, along with the lowest of the lows. A man who once had it all now sits on the sidelines as the justice system determines his fate. A month after his dismissal was denied, Travis was released on bond after paying $160,000. He was required to remain on house arrest. On Wednesday, May 24th, 2023, the trial of Florida versus Travis Rudolph began. In the prosecution's opening statement, they explained to the jury that Travis had unnecessarily pursued his adversaries after they had already fled from his house, meaning that it was no longer self-defense.
A German poet back in the French Revolution once said that murder begins when self-defense ends. Now that was a simple sentence said many, many years ago, but that simple sentence perfectly encapsulates why this defendant right there, Travis Rudolph, is sitting in the chair that he's sitting in. He took it upon himself to take out a semi-automatic rifle-like weapon, pursue 4 boys that were leaving the area of his home, and as those boys were trying to leave the situation that had occurred minutes before, this defendant used that weapon and fired 39 times. 39 times into the car that they were in that was trying to leave. The facts and the evidence are going to be clear by the time you get back into that room that he was not on defense. He was on offense. He was not under attack. He was on the attack, and that's exactly why he's in that chair.
With most of the evidence supporting the prosecution's theory, the defense found themselves in a difficult position. In their opening statement, they blamed Dominique for the chain of events leading up to Sebastian's death, calling her a woman scorned, driven by jealousy.
Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. The evidence is going to show that on April 6th of 2021, Dominique Jones, a woman scorned, set a series of events that ended in a tragedy and forced Travis Rudolph to act in self-defense. Her rage and jealousy set this entire thing in motion. That's what the evidence is going to show. Travis left his cell phone in his bedroom with Dominique, and he stepped outside. When he came back in, that's when all hell broke loose. Dominique went into his phone without his permission. She sneaked around, scrolled through his text messages, and saw that he had been talking with a woman named Kyla and some other women who were merely friends. But it set her off. She became infuriated, enraged. She lost her mind. She became unhinged. What you're going to hear, though, ironically, is she was married throughout their entire relationship and never told this man this, sneaking behind her husband's back. She could not control her anger, her jealousy, her rage. She lost her mind. She took the cell phone, smashed it to the ground, and broke it. screaming, "I'm sending my brother over to kill you. I'm sending my brother over to kill you." She then picked up his PlayStation, which was in his room, dragged it to the living room, smashed it there as well, in a rage. She was out of control. Whole time screaming, "I'm sending my brother over to kill you. I'm sending my brother over to kill you." They conspired and planned to go to Travis's house at midnight, several hours after this alleged slamming to the ground, to retaliate and to kill him, just as she ordered him to do.
Still in this nigga like
Keyshawn and his armed brothers were not noblemen. They weren't chivalrous. They didn't witness an attack on an innocent woman. They were vigilantes. They were 4 men who went there to retaliate and kill, just as they were ordered to do. We don't want to plunge you in the darkness. We want the lights on. We want the fag unfolded. That's what we want, and that's what you're going to hear from the defense. Travis Rudolph acted in self-defense, and that is the truth. Thank you.
The 2 key witnesses brought to the stand were Dominique and Keyshawn. During their cross-examination, the defense focused on the series of messages that led up to the shooting. Both Dom and Keyshawn stated that the messages were a result of high-strung emotions and were clearly not meant to be taken literally.
On April 6th at 10:14 p.m., you write, "Travis is a dead man walking." Is that right?
Yes.
Why did you write that text message?
That's pretty much just hyperbole. I just wanted to, honestly, just calm my sister down, make her feel better, you know, try to get her in a better headspace, but I didn't mean anything literal by that.
You are telling the jury that you did it because you were trying to calm your sister down. Is that right?
Yes, honestly, I feel like I wasn't threatening him directly.
He gonna murder that nigga.
It wasn't to the point where I'm telling him, like, when I see him, it's like this. But I was just saying that to my sister to calm her down.
She then responds to you at 10:15. You wrote that at 10:14 p.m. She then responds to you at 10:15 to you and Tyler. "Please go shoot his shit up." What was that?
Hyperbole as well. My sister is just, it was a lot of emotion. She was really angry. It was a lot of emotion between all of us.
Keyshawn explained that he, along with the others, went to Travis's home to speak with him, not to assault him. Keyshawn, who owns a gun, also highlighted that he did not bring his weapon that night, as he did not anticipate that the situation would become violent. The defense's goal was to discredit Dominique and Keyshawn. They argued that their actions contradicted their testimonies. For example, if Dominique thought her intentions were clear, then why did she delete her messages to Keyshawn?
I'm admitting that I did delete the messages, and I'm confessing that I did turn my phone into the police enforcement. It wasn't for the jury not to see.
You had a guilty conscience, did you not?
I still have a guilty conscience till this day, and I will say that to the jury, to everybody in here. Of course I do. I was 23. I was young. I was dumb. I made a very, very bad decision when I said those words, but it was never my intentions.
You deleted those text messages because you know that they were incriminating, right?
No. I deleted those text messages because it actually happened, and I was confused. And
what actually happened?
Travis shot at them. So I immediately thought in my head, they're gonna think this is I planned something. Like, that's immediately what I thought in my head.
As for Keyshawn, if he didn't wish to inflict harm, why did he bring his friends with him to confront Travis? Also, why did the group park their vehicle around the corner when there was adequate parking directly outside of his house?
So why did you need three other men to go with you to have a chat?
I didn't need them.
But you brought them with you, right?
Yes.
Okay. You didn't say to them, "Whoa, never mind, guys. You know, I want to do this man to man. You guys all stay here. I've got this. I'm only going there to talk," right?
Exactly. No, I didn't say that.
You have testified that you know where he lived.
Yes.
So there was nothing preventing you from pulling up into his driveway or parking alongside the house, right?
Yes.
So why on earth would you park your vehicle the first time several blocks away from his house when there was nothing preventing you from parking at his house?
Honestly, if I'm being transparent, I didn't really want to give off any sort of aggression towards him. And again, this is not something I do often. So in this instance, you know that it looks wrong to do that. But at the time, it's like I don't go talk to people. I don't know that it's going to look like this. In hindsight, after the fact,
we don't get shot at, this doesn't happen. It doesn't look wrong. So in this instance, I didn't know at that point in time that it would even come to this. So
Why didn't you call the police to make sure that this man was arrested for battery?
because I felt like the situation was personal and I knew him personally. So I felt like I could talk to him.
You could have gotten in that car and drove to his house and had a chat, right?
Yes.
You didn't do that.
No.
Right. Because
Yes.
you weren't there to talk. That's what you want this jury to believe, but that's not the truth. You were there to shoot him because
No.
that's what you were instructed to do. Right?
No.
Isn't that a fact that you guys immediately attacked him, never giving him a chance to do anything?
No.
Not only were the circumstances leading up to the shooting suspicious, but when examining the doorbell camera footage, it appeared that both Sebastian and Tyler were carrying weapons. The defense had hired John Marasini, a forensic pathologist, to examine Sebastian's autopsy photos. He concluded that based on Sebastian's hand position at the time of his death, he likely died holding a gun.
You see this area here in the index finger that suggests of a trigger impression, but that's not nearly as important as what you begin to see here as a palmar surface of the hand has evidence of a little bit of bruising with some pattern to it. So, when we see this, we see that as further evidence of contact with the hand combined with the overall posture. We think of someone who was embracing a firearm on or about the time they were killed.
Do you have an opinion based on all your training and experience if the decedent's hand in the right hand in this photograph is consistent with holding a firearm prior to death or after death as well?
It's consistent with the embrace of firearm.
What was the last word before firearm?
Embrace of holding.
Embrace meaning holding.
Holding, yes.
To challenge Marasini's conclusion, the prosecution called Associate Medical Examiner Marlon Osborne to the stand. Marlon stated that it was impossible to determine what exactly Sebastian could have been holding.
So, doctor, in terms of what you know, if anything, about the phrase death grip, when it comes to your profession.
I believe it means that it's the positioning of the hand as if it was holding something when the person died. Unless someone tells me that they felt a gun in his hand. He could have been holding something or nothing at all when his hand's just that in position. Or he could have been holding a can of soda, cigarette lighter, cell phone. I have no idea.
To further the prosecution's argument, they called on Tyler Robinson to testify. Tyler said that there's no way Sebastian could have been holding a gun because he didn't own one. But on cross-examination, the defense picked Tyler apart for his several inconsistent statements throughout the investigation.
You always forget you have a gun in your pocket?
I don't carry a gun often enough to forget or remember where it is. It's not that regularly that it's just in my pocket anymore.
That's how you know them niggas was there.
It's hard for me to answer that.
You're trying to convince everyone what's in Sebastian's pocket is not a gun. It was his phone, and that's why you're taking back what you previously said. Isn't that true, sir?
No, sir. You're trying to prove that what was in Sebastian's pocket was in fact a firearm when Sebastian doesn't even own a firearm. And I'm telling you, it could have been his phone, his keys, his wallet, socks. And I'm telling you, I don't know what the contents of Sebastian's pockets are. I don't perform cavity searches on my friends when we depart and arrive.
Tyler continued to be argumentative on the stand, so very little progress was made by either side. However, it was the defense's theory that the mystery surrounding who was carrying a gun that night fell on lead detective Emily Vanderlaan. This is because a thorough inspection was not completed at the site where Keyshawn's Cadillac was found. Even after Tyler had changed his story and admitted that the firearm found near Travis's house did in fact belong to him. The investigation she conducted was so flawed that she hadn't even held a formal interview with Keyshawn regarding the text message he sent calling Travis a dead man walking. It was now the defense's turn to bring their witnesses to the stand. They started with Daryl, who stated that Travis acted in self-defense as they feared for their lives.
What happens next?
They were spiritually assaulting Travis, and then,
what were they doing to him?
Basically punching him. They're trying to kill him, basically. They were trying to kill him. So I try to, jump in to try to get these guys off of my brother. Then now I'm being fiercely assaulted as well. Like, they didn't care. They came over to kill.
Did you ever see anybody with any firearms?
Yes, sir.
Where did that happen?
That happened on the side of my house, on the grass area by the garage.
So after the attack at the front door?
Yes, sir.
Tell us what happened there, for the best you remember.
So jury, I'm literally like on the ground being pounded and fiercely assaulted. I see this firearm from Tyler Robinson. He points his gun at my head, saying, you gonna die today. You gonna die today.
Following Daryl's testimony, it was finally time to hear from the man himself, Travis. Travis stuck to his initial story, stating that Tyler pulled a gun on him and his brother first. In a panic, he ran inside, grabbed his assault rifle, and defended himself.
I heard this loud banging, like constant banging, as if someone was like really trying to get your attention.
What happened next?
I remember my brother was the first one. He like darted to the door, like without any hesitation. Like he just went to the door.
Could you hear what anyone was saying before you went outside?
The only thing I could hear them saying, like, "Where's Travis?"
That's it?
Yes, that's it. Literally, I walk outside and I was going to approach Keyshawn, and I was gonna say, I said, "What's up?" But before I even get the up part, the guy with the shirt off with the tattoos, he had sucker punched me in my left eye. And
know him at all?
No, that was my first time ever seeing him. Yes.
You never met him, to your knowledge?
No.
How does he hit you?
He hit me as if he was trying to knock me out.
Very hard?
Yes.
Did you see the hit coming or the punch coming?
No, he caught me off guard. They started like jumping me to, basically they're coming from my right. So Tyler hit me from my left, and they started jumping me from my right.
Did you see any weapons at this point? Any guns?
No, not at this point.
How were they fighting with you?
They was like trying to hurt us really bad, like trying to kill us. I took it as they was trying to kill us. They kicking us, punching us. I got choked one time, everything.
Okay. And were they saying anything to you during this?
You know they gotta make it sound good, bro.
Yes, we on demon time. Y'all gonna die today.
And what would that mean to you, demon time? You know about that?
Like, they basically, like, they don't, excuse my language to jurors, but they basically saying that I don't give a fuck about nothing. I'm coming to handle my business.
Is that a new term, demon time?
Yes.
So Tyler pulls the gun. Do you remember which pocket he pulls it, or no?
From his right pocket.
Does he point it, or you don't even see him point it?
I don't see him point it, because like I said, at that time, as soon as I see him, pull his firearm, I reacted and I went inside my house. Like, I ran to my house. Yes.
Was it a matter of life and death even before that, in your opinion?
Most definitely.
So you run in the house.
For sure. So them niggas kind of your crib.
What do you do then?
That's when I came outside and I slipped, like you guys seen in the video. And I noticed Tyler was near my mom, so I approached Tyler.
Start shooting?
No, I'll probably just stay on for a couple more hours. I ain't doing nothing.
No.
Pulling the slide back?
No.
Was it already in the ready position?
Yes, it was already one in the chamber.
Just like you have your handgun too?
Correct.
Okay. Is that the way you were trained?
Yes.
Tell the jury what you see. What do you actually see when you look down the block too?
When I was looking down the block, I seen two men jumping my brother, punching on him, kicking him. I mean, he's defending himself to the best of his ability, but I mean,
his brother's still outside as these niggas jumping in. As he go get the gun? No. Oh yeah, that's self-defense all the way.
Because my brother's in that direction as well, so I mean, like I said, I didn't want to shoot anyone that night, honestly.
Did you start shooting before you saw Tyler with a gun?
No.
Did you see anyone else with a gun?
Yes. Sebastian.
And where was his gun?
It was pointing through the front windshield.
And where was it pointed at?
It was pointing in me and my brother's direction.
Did you give him a chance to shoot you?
No.
You know if either one of them took a shot off?
No, I don't know. Not to my knowledge.
So why did you shoot first?
Because, I mean, if I wait for them to shoot, that's the matter of seconds, and it could be me and my brother's life just gone like that.
Did you feel that your brother's life was in danger of being taken away?
Most definitely. Not only my brother, mine as well, too.
Yeah, for
Any
sure.
doubt about that in your mind?
No doubt.
Did you want to shoot anyone?
No, I didn't.
Following Travis's testimony, it was time for the closing arguments. The prosecution reiterated the idea that murder begins where self-defense ends. They criticized Travis for firing 39 bullets at a group of men, despite them fleeing the vicinity of his household. They argued that he intentionally started and continued the violence, and therefore he should be deemed guilty of his charges.
Can you pursue people who you might think started it? Can you pursue them even as they're running away and driving away and shoot them and kill them dead? The answer is a resounding no. Bring back a verdict of guilty.
But you not at church.
Thank
what the
you so
fuck is she talking about?
Afterwards, it was the defense's turn. The defense said that the prosecution avoided responding to important information during their closing argument, including specific witness testimonies and Detective Vanderlaan's mishandling of the investigation.
Great argument by opposing counsel, but forgot to talk to you about the facts of the case, about what the witnesses said, about Detective Vandal and her lack of investigation. I didn't know any better. I was watching an episode of The Sopranos. Just the names changed. Somebody disrespected a mobster's daughter, and they went to go whack him.
They concluded by driving home the argument that Travis was in fact acting in self-defense, and that the lack of evidence shown to the jury was enough to provide reasonable doubt.
In this case here, the only question you're asked is, really, was he acting in self-defense? Did they prove he was not? And I submit there's no
subs in right now, Twin.
Say yes.
44 subs in right now, gang.
That he was not. And if y'all agree on that, the case is over. You don't go to first, second, manslaughter, because he's not guilty of a crime.
Yeah, he's not.
At all. He's not.
He ain't do nothing but defend
Maybe he's
himself
not good
and
enough.
his family.
Possibly he's not good enough. It's not. It should be a quick verdict, because you don't have the evidence. You'll never have the evidence, and y'all know why now. Thank you very much.
As the closing arguments wrapped up, it was now time for the jury to deliberate. On June 7th, 2023, after doing a thorough review of the evidence, a verdict was reached in just 4 hours.
Defendant, verdict. We, the jury, find as follows. As to count 1, we find the defendant not guilty. As to count 2, we find the defendant not guilty. As to count 3, we find the defendant not guilty. As to count 4, we find the defendant not guilty. So say we all, the 7th day of June, 2023, in West Palm Beach, County, Florida.
To this day, no other people involved in this case were ever charged. This sparked several online petitions demanding justice to be served, like this one.
Yeah,
I feel like the young lady should be held responsible because she sent them over there. Had she not sent them over there, the young man would still be alive. Thank you.
Or this one. Emily Vanderlaan would ultimately resign from her position as lead detective for the West Palm Beach Sheriff's Office. As for Travis, in October of 2023, 4 months after being acquitted, he signed with the Orlando Guardians, a minor league football team which is part of the XFL. On December 31st of that year, the XFL merged with the USFL to create the UFL, and Travis was left unclaimed in the dispersal draft. On May 6th, 2024, Travis was set to continue his CFL journey with the Edmonton Elks, but he was released after 2 months. At the moment, it seems like Travis is now SOL. But if there is one thing that we can take away from Travis's story, it's that no matter how deep of a valley you may find yourself in, another mountaintop may be right around the corner.
What does this mean for your football career? What are your plans there?
I'm gonna reach out to my agent, and God's willing, I'll still be able to play football. So definitely plan on getting back to football.
CFL or NFL? Or?
Yeah, anyone, just the opportunity. I love the game, so.
You're not out of your prime yet, huh?
No.
Oh, shit,
still,
man.
Just actually reaching my prime.
That's good shit.
Thank you, God.
That's going to be
Thank
that.
you.
That's going to be a good
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Good shit. He beat that.
I love you.